Are you looking to move to Hazlet, New Jersey, but you're not sure if it's the right town for you just yet? Well, good news for you. On today's video, we're covering the top 3 pros and cons of living in Hazlet. We're going to cover a couple different topics like the location, cost of living, and a few others. But before we get started, if it's your first time to the channel, my name is Steve McCutcheon, and I'm a realtor at Berkshire Hathaway. On the Live in Central New Jersey channel, we cover everything related to the Central Jersey real estate market. So if you're the first one to know what's going on in Monmouth or Ocean County real estate, feel free to click the bell, hit the subscribe button. Let's get this video started. The very first pro about living in Hazlet is going to be the location. And as you can see, Hazlet's going to be located in the northern part of Monmouth County, and it borders a couple different towns like Aberdeen, Homedale, Middletown, just name a few. Hazlet's going to come in at roughly about 5.5 square miles, which ranks at 19th out of 53 municipalities in terms of size for Monmouth County. And there's going to be 3 main roadways that run through it. It's going to be Route 35, 36, and the Garden State Parkway. All 3 are going to run north to south. Route 35 and 36 are going to be non-toll roads, while the Garden State Parkway is going to be a toll road and one of the 2 major highways that we have here in all of New Jersey. Now, probably the biggest reason people love the location of Hazlet is going to be the proximity to New York City. So if you're unaware, a lot of people that live in New Jersey typically will work in New York City, a little bit more money, but when they live here, they have better overall quality of life, better school systems, more space, that kind of thing. Now, there's 4 ways to get to New York City from Hazlet. You're going to be able to drive yourself, take the train, the bus, or even take the ferry. Now, when it comes to driving yourself, the easiest route is probably going to be hopping on the Garden State Parkway. Taking that north, you might, maybe when the intersects the New Jersey Turnpike, which is the other major highway we have here in Jersey, you might take that and go up north that way. It all just going to depend on which location of New York City you have to get to. If you're going into like that Manhattan, Wall Street district, somewhere around there, you're probably looking at about an hour 15 to an hour and a half, assuming there's going to be a little bit of rush hour traffic there. If there was 0 traffic at all, you could probably get to New York City in under an hour or just about an hour tops. The other option is going to be taking the train. This is going to be run through NJ Transit, and Hazlet has its own train stop. It's going to take you into Penn Station. Based on the website, it's going to run you about an hour and 15 minutes. Taking the bus is another option. Now, this isn't going to be through NJ Transit. This is going to be through a private line called Academy, and that's also, based on their website, they have it down for about an hour and 15 as well, maybe an hour and a half with a little bit of traffic. The last option will be taking the ferry, and this one kind of depends on where you live in Hazlet. If you're more on the western side, I'd probably just recommend taking the train and be easier. But if you want to take the ferry, it'd be easier if you live on the eastern side. And from the Belford Port, that's going to take you into the Wall Street district. That's about a 45-minute commute there. So depending on where you live, which spot you need to get to, that's kind of different options that you're going to have. Pro number 2 are going to be the housing prices. Now, if you've seen any other pros and cons videos I've done on this channel before, typically the housing prices is mixed in with the cost of living, and it's usually going to be a con because it's a little bit expensive here in New Jersey. But in my opinion, Hazlet is probably one of the best bangs for bucks that you have here in Monmouth County. And that's going to be based upon the proximity to New York City, like we just mentioned, decent school systems, low crime rates, nice neighborhoods, close to the water. The list kind of goes on and on. Now, that's not to say that Hazlet isn't going to be more expensive than the rest of the U.S. because Hazlet's median sales price is about $515,000 right now, and the national average is roughly about $425,000. So obviously a little bit of a discrepancy there, but in terms of being here in New Jersey and specifically Monmouth County, it's actually a value. Whereas Monmouth County's sales price or average sales price is going to be about $650,000. So compare that to what Hazlet's is, and you're getting a pretty good discount in there, in my opinion, again. So obviously home prices are a little bit more expensive nationally or compared to nationally, but here in Monmouth, I think it's a really good deal. The third pro about living in Hazlet is going to be the amenities. Now, there's plenty of things to choose from when it comes to living in Hazlet. First one, let's just say, is shopping. Route 35 and Route 36, like I mentioned, is 2 of the major roadways in the area. Those are going to be jam-packed with a bunch of different shops. If you're looking for food stores, you got ShopRite, Stop and Shop, Costco over there, different department stores. You got, if you're looking for a home project, Home Depot and Lowe's. A little farther down, technically is in Middletown, but it's going to be a Target, which is a nice spot for a lot of people. So probably only about 5-10 minutes from there, but kind of just to make my point, every different store you can possibly imagine, it's pretty much going to be on either Route 35 or 36. When it comes to restaurants, there's not a ton of like mom and pop small business restaurants, but there's a really good amount of chains over there, so you obviously know what to expect when you're walking in there. And if you're looking just to have some fun, especially during the summertime, there are numerous options available to you. You can go a little farther north into Keensburg, and they have a water park. A little bit farther south, you're going to go into Homedale, and right on the Garden State Parkway is going to be a PNC Bank Arts Center. They host concerts here. I think they're open from either April or May, and that pretty much runs all the way through to September, October area. So nice country concerts over there. I've seen Luke Bryan, I think Thomas Rhett too. So really good options there. And if you just want to go for maybe a hike or a bike ride, you can go check out the Henry Hudson Trail. You can go to Veterans Memorial Park and play either pickleball or tennis. There are so many different things you could do with a young family in the area. So highly recommend checking out Hazlet. Before we head on over to the cons, if you're enjoying this video, please smash the like button down below and help me get this out to as many people as possible. Our goal for the rest of 2024 and on to 2025 is just help as many people move, buy or sell real estate in the Monmouth or Ocean County area. So if this sounds like you, feel free to reach out. Don't be shy. We get calls, texts, emails, people just like you all the time. Now, with that being said, let's get back to the content you came here for. So now I gotta head over into the cons. It's not the most fun thing to talk about, but we gotta get it done. The very first thing is going to be the traffic congestion. Now, New Jersey is going to be the most densely populated state in the US, which means we have a lot of people in a smaller area. Hazlet falls victim to this as well. During the rush hour commutes, Route 35 can be pretty backed up. For highways, Route 35 and 36 do have a decent amount of stoplights on them, so if you're constantly hitting all the lights, if you're just in that flow of traffic right there, you'll get backed up a little bit and it can get a little frustrating. Route 35 also during the shore or the summer can bring you along the entire Jersey Shore from Hazlet all the way down into Ocean County and numerous other beach towns along the way. So you can imagine that can get pretty backed up there too. But I promise you, during non-peak hours, Route 35 is actually really good to drive through, especially with all the shops, restaurants, and everything else along it. Con number 2 are going to be the property taxes. Now, when it comes to living in New Jersey, we are either the highest or in the top 3 typically every year for property taxes across the entire US. So Hazlet is not going to be an exception to this. Now, I will say with the caveat, the northern and central part of New Jersey are typically going to be higher for taxes, and the further south you go, it gets a little bit easier. For instance, I live in Brick, which is going to be in Ocean County, which is one down from Monmouth. And if you took my same 3-bedroom townhome and put it into Monmouth County, I'd probably be paying an extra $25 or $3 for the year in taxes. So, which doesn't sound like a whole lot over the course of a year, but you're talking about $200 to $300 more a month on top of your monthly mortgage payment. So, for an example, in Hazlet, a recently listed home was for $500,000, had 1,500 square feet, but it was nearly $10,000 in taxes. That's about $800 extra a month, not counting your principal, interest on your mortgage. So just build this into your bankroll when you're going into Monmouth County in general. Most towns are going to be more expensive for tax purposes than some others. Con number 3 is going to be the lack of public transportation. Now this one might sound kind of weird considering I just listed 3 different ways to get into New York City alone from Hazlet, but what I'm really talking about here is being able to get around Hazlet or other parts of Monmouth County without using your personal vehicle. Now, our train and bus stops do a good job, but they typically take you town by town and there's not going to be too many stops in between. Maybe you'll have kind of a one-off here or there, but other than that, there's really not too much to it. Like New York City with their subway system and how you can maybe go by different avenues all the time, that's very convenient, very easy, and you could use that in order to get around. Whereas here, if you're constantly taking Ubers or Lyfts, even if you take the train from, let's just say, Hazlet down to Belmar, but then from Belmar train station to maybe get into the beach, you're gonna have to pop on another $10 Uber each way. So it'll add up. If you have a personal vehicle, while obviously car payments aren't fun and they're getting a little bit pricier, it's still gonna be cheaper than having to Uber, Lyft, or use public transportation everywhere. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video, guys. I really do appreciate it. If you're looking to buy or sell in the Hazlet area, feel free to reach out. All my contact information is down low in the comments and description. Whether you're 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, even a year out, it doesn't matter to me. Let's just get you on the right path towards your real estate goals. And if you're looking to move to a different part of the Central Jersey area, check out the 2 videos popping up and hopefully help you out a little bit too. Have a great day.